So, with economic opportunity, we also want to address the affordability crisis, which is a huge thing, right? It's plaguing everyone, and it really actually doesn't even matter if you're at the top of the food chain or if you're at the bottom. The affordability crisis is affecting everyone, right? So it just affects us in different ways. And I had a former volunteer on team who had said one time that we are all closer to becoming homeless than we are to becoming billionaires. For some of us, it might happen in 5 minutes. For others, it might happen in 5 years. But no one is guaranteed to be a billionaire at, the drop of a dime, so to speak. So when it comes to affordability, we wanted to take a lot of time to really make sure that it was ironclad. And so on one end, we want to address the affordability crisis primarily through housing. And so with housing, we want to make sure that we are addressing it through a renter standpoint and then home ownership as well. So as it relates to renters, what we want to do is make sure that we are primarily building mid-rises and high-rises in transit hub areas. Transit hub areas always usually have the zoning for affordable housing, so we're not stepping on the toes for environmental concerns. And then in addition, they are considered walkable neighborhoods. So if you are living in affordable housing, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that you do or you don't have access to a car. You can't make that assumption. But what we can do is make sure that you have the resources around you in your community so that you're not left vulnerable or in a disadvantaged state. Then we also want to make sure that for home ownership, we are utilizing public land. And there's this habit of Republicans that all of our public assets within our government are always handed over to the private sector. And I can't tell you why. Well, of course, we know why, right? It has to do with something green. But nonetheless, these are our resources, right? Because our tax dollars go to this. Why would we just sell it off, right? And it kind of makes you even think back to when Rick Scott was governor and he privatized the Bright Line, and now the Bright Line is going out of business when before it used to be a public asset. So it's things like that. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our public land and utilizing it. And the way that we are able to provide relief to affordability is that if we partner with community land trusts, right, we're going to be able to build homes on public land. It makes the homes significantly cheaper, and it also gives homeowners an opportunity to save, right? And so as they're saving, what they're able to do is save to be able to purchase the home and the land elsewhere so that they're having total home ownership. And what we're doing is creating that bridge to what we call generational wealth. Because you have too many families where they either A, don't have a home and they're renting for the entire duration of raising their young family and their young kids, or B, which leads me to my next topic, is that property taxes are so expensive that they're not able to keep a family home within the family. So, with the property tax issue, what I will say is this. I don't want to say that I don't have an answer for you all, but what I will say is that I am in, what do they call it? The lab cooking. So, and what I mean by that is we are researching and making sure that the proposal that we have is something that can tangibly be done. And so, what I can tell you is this: we are looking at creating a progressive homeowners tax system. And what that means is that we would be taxing for property tax on the basis of the value of your home, but also keeping your income into consideration.